So I would like to call the East Point Community School Board meeting, East Point Community School regular meeting open at 6:33. Can you please call the roll?
Dr. Early,
Here.
Mr. Williams here, Mr. Roscoe,
Present.
Mrs. Richardson,
Present.
Mrs. Chopa,
Here.
Mrs. Whitby,
Here.
and Mr. McCain.
Here.
Thank you. 7 present. Can we please have the pledge of allegiance by Dan Zander?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
My country.
Thank you, Dan. Next, can we please have approval of the agenda?
I move to approve the agenda.
Second. No, Ian got it.
Okay, please call the vote.
Mrs. Whitby,
Yes.
Mr. Roscoe,
Yes.
Dr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Williams, yes, Mrs. Richardson,
Yes.
and Mrs. Chopa,
Yes.
and Mr. McCain.
Yes.
Okay, with a vote of 7-0, motion carried. Next, can I please have approval of the consent agenda?
So moved.
Support.
Please call the vote.
Mr. McCain,
Yes.
Mr. Williams, yes, Dr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Roscoe,
Yes.
Mrs. Richardson,
Yes.
Mrs. Chopa,
Yes.
and Mrs. Whitby.
Yes.
Okay, with a motion of 7-0, motion carried. Next, we have our superintendent report. Superintendent Gibson.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen joining us in the audience, and for those of you joining us at home. This evening, we have a special opportunity to celebrate a student. So the Board of Education began this process of students who had gone to an alternative route to finish their class, but this evening, we'd like to recognize Jaquan Davis. Jaquan has completed all of the recommended coursework to graduate from East Point High School, and so we'd like to welcome him and his family here this evening. So if the board would be so obliged, we'd like to, if anybody's willing to go down and congratulate Jaquan on his accomplishments. I'd invite the Board of Education to head down to the front, please, and thank you. And presenting the diploma this evening will be Principal Todd Yarch, and Todd, you can head to the podium there. So Jaquan, if you would like to stand up with the board, they will get a whole picture and we will celebrate all of the things and all of your accomplishments. Great. Stephanie's coming around now. Thank you. So Jaquan and family, you do not have to stay for the rest of the board meeting. And congratulations, Jaquan, on your achievements.
Yeah.
And we're glad that you finished that summer school class and that you got all of your graduation requirements done.
Good for you.
Congratulations. All right, now Daquan, you can take your uncle, and you guys are cousin. You guys are welcome to do family pictures out in front. Again, family, thank you so much for being here. Jaquan, congratulations again on your.
Congratulations.
Madam Superintendent.
It looks like our second student was not able to
mic didn't
come
work.
here this evening.
He gone.
Okay.
One of my church boys. I remember when he was a little boy. And I know all his little trials. I want to let him know he can make it. No, that's okay. He's gone.
I'd like to congratulate our Teachers of the Year. This year, we're celebrating Azari Herring as our Student of the Year. Our Teachers of the Year, Angela Mall, Donna Tabacini from East Point Early Learning Center, Janet Beiersdorf-Huffnagel from the high school. Thank you to this Board of Education and to the central office team for attending that Salute to Excellence, where we honored this group of amazing educators. Kindergarten math, Miss Amy Epifanio, Crescentwood kindergartners, worked using magnetic boards to show a variety of way of representing numbers with the Show It Another Way activity during her math lessons. This is a great example and wanted to show the board the iReady math being implemented in a kindergarten classroom. Forest Park, the benefit of returning to K-5 schools is that Forest Park has been having some kindergarten classrooms partner up with some older grade level classrooms. And here is an example of third grade with kindergarten where they teamed up with buddies. They had their first meetup last week and made an apple craft and read together. And this is a great example of one of the many reasons that we wanted to return to K-5 schools to build that longitudinal growth in each of our schools and to have those great older role models. A group of East Point High School students toured Merit Manufacturing in Warren. This is part of a countywide Manufacturing Day program. This year, the students got to go and check out the manufacturing company. They all got lab coats. They had a great day and were exposed to other careers in manufacturing and skilled trades. Fire department field trip. We have a CTE program in law enforcement. Our very own SRO Prude is also a SRO, but teaches one section of the CTE law enforcement class where high school students got a firsthand look at a career pathway. And I heard that nothing changes the demeanor of a high school student like a fire hose, and that they all became like giddy with excitement over all of the activities. Thank you so much to East Point Fire Department for their work and for sharing more about what public safety careers look like for our high school students. On that note, we thought it'd be a great opportunity to talk a little bit about our current high school programming structure. We house 3 entities to support children here in East Point Community Schools. The first is a traditional East Point High School route. It's 22 credits to graduate. 18 of those must be on the Michigan Merit curriculum, plus elective courses. The traditional high school experience is a full day of face-to-face at East Point High School and entitles students to all kinds of clubs and activities outside of the school day. Then we run a virtual program. This year we expanded our virtual program to encompass middle school and high school. It is an approved alternative pathway. We use Edmentum online courses and have 2 teachers assigned to the whole program. Those teachers have bi-weekly connections with students, and they often are emailing and calling and doing all of those additional connections to ensure students are academically successful. It is 20 credits to graduate from East Point from East Point Virtual Academy. And students have, the grading is a little bit different because of the way that you can work through the coursework. But what we have done with East Point Virtual is that it is targeted for students who are significantly credit deficient or students in lieu of expulsion or long-term suspension. And so when children are off track with traditional high school, we move children into the East Point Virtual Academy as a way for them to continue to get an education and to help to expedite some credit recovery if students are deficient in credit. Thirdly, we offer the East Point Alternative Center. The East Point Alternative Center is in partnership with Graduation Alliance. It is exclusively for students who are high school dropouts. So if a child drops out of our high school and we hope to recover them or to help them with pursuing their goals, we will move them into the East Point Alternative Center. We are also exploring and piloting some other students joining the East Point Alternative Center who have dropped out of high school in neighboring districts so that they too can have an opportunity to graduate from high school. The East Point High School and East Point Virtual Academy have different policies, and post-pandemic, actually I'm going to kind of start pre-pandemic, we used to run Kelwood Alternative Center. And for those of you that know, that lived at where the current Early Learning Center is, and we ran a self-contained alternative program. Over the course of time, we had to shift to what is our current modality. But when we came back off the pandemic, as you guys all, I know it feels like it was years ago, but it really wasn't so long ago that 2020 pandemic happened for us. We had a number of challenges with children and families and staff coming back to full in-person learning. So post-pandemic, we allowed EVA students to participate in athletics and activities. We had many students in that program who were nervous about coming to school. We had many students in that program who were anxious about getting COVID. We had many students in that program who experienced loss of a loved one. So we allowed the EVA students to participate in athletics and activities post-pandemic. We even included our EVA, as this board knows, in our MHSAA count and included them in those participation places. EVA was designed as an alternative program. Again, it supported East Point High School's tiered program. Post-pandemic, and once we started to come back to operational normal, if there is a normal in public education, right, because we're always changing and growing, the high school team and central office leaders met to review the students that were in East Point Virtual Academy. And we found that students who were enrolled in EVA needed to be treated like an alternative center again. We were moving children into the EVA that were behind on credits. We were moving children into the EVA who were coming for expulsions due to their behavior in the traditional high school setting. So our team made a decision to increase the expectations for EVA students and kind of return to that pre-pandemic model of an alternative center. When we ran Kelwood as our alternative center, the school operated on its own entity. It had its own homecoming and its own little mini prom, right? Do you remember that? We had our own separate alternative center graduation. And so at the conclusion of the 2024 school year, we made the decision that EVA seniors would be the only seniors, only children enrolled in the virtual academy that would be able to participate in prom and graduation only. And we kept one single graduation to that extent. We did set a policy that tried to increase the expectations for students to move them from the EVA back to the high school. We wanted to raise that expectation, and so we did that. In our MHSAA 2025-2026 resolution approved by this board, we only counted East Point High School students in that, and that resolution had the middle school and the high school. Now, as we enter into strategic plan year 3, one of our primary focuses in goal 1 of the strategic plan involves re-examining and looking at high school programming. It involves looking at dual credit, honors and AP coursework, expanding CTE, which has been part of this board's goals. It will also involve looking at computer science and other pathways that we can add. We will also over the course of this year, be re-examining our current structure, which is to have East Point High School as the primary traditional school, EVA and EAC. Now, our team does not know what will come of that exploration, but we are going to explore other modalities to make sure that as we look in this plan year 3 at our secondary coursework, that we're looking at all of it. We'll also be examining that secondary structure, and Principal Yarch is here in the audience. He knows, as does Assistant Superintendent Fleming in the curriculum department, that it's about looking at all of the components of that secondary education. What does our instruction look like? What does our CTE program looks like? What are our pathways to jobs? What are our pathways to colleges? And then how are we improving our grading system at the campus? How are we looking at formative assessment? And then how are we using what's allowable in the calendars and the clock hours to continue to grow secondary programming? So I felt like it was important as we celebrated Manufacturing Day and as we celebrated some other partnerships that are coming forward for us in CTE to show the board and the community what those secondary course offerings look like. This week in Shamrock Athletics, we have a number of activities going on. Please come and support our volleyball students, our athletes. Football this Saturday will be a home football game. It is homecoming. Please come on out and support your Shamrocks. We'd also like to highlight some coaches of the week. Welcome to our new cheerleading coaches, Naya Diamond and Sharika Wester. They were out there and prepared for the Marine City game. They had a tent while it was raining, and I was really impressed with them. They did a great job with our young ladies. They are coaching middle school and high school cheerleading together. And then a big shout out to Coach Edwin McDonald in middle school football, showing up undefeated again so far to start the middle school football season. Again, upcoming events, we've got a homecoming game versus Clawson, 1 p.m. at Memorial Field. Saturday, October 18th is the homecoming dance. October 20th, we do not have school. It is professional learning that day. October 31st is a half day for students and the end of our first quarter. And before I turn it over to Carrie Weishaupt to talk more about our bond updates, we have had Desar Blair join us. Okay. If the board would be so kind, we'd like to congratulate Miss Blair for her accomplishments, and we are going to recognize her graduation. So if the board could head on down and welcome and congratulate her. Principal Yarch, if you'd like to head to the podium and present the diploma. congratulations to Desire Blair. She had to take a summer credit recovery course this summer and completed it, and congratulations on your graduation. You know, it's like the city planned it. There's a great balloon arch back there. You and your family can absolutely go and take some pictures, and congratulations, Desire, on your accomplishments.
You're welcome. Bye.
Next up, I'd like to welcome Carrie Weissop to the podium. Mr. Weissop is our operations director, part-time, but full-time in our hearts. And he's gonna walk us through some of the bond work that has been done here at East Point Community Schools. Mr. Weissop.
This is a pleasure to be here. President Early? I think it is.
And lean in.
Madam President, Superintendent Gibson, members of the Board of Education and Cabinet. I'm here for the annual update on the bond. I've been presenting to you a couple years in a row now. This is my third year coming in. And I want to tell you, it is just exciting for me to share this with you. I'm going to start by just giving you an example of when you look out at East Point and you watch all the construction that takes place along this beautiful 9-mile road. You've seen it happening with all the work that was going on. Well, in school districts, it's 10 weeks. That's all we have to get this work done. And they tore apart Pleasant View and put it all back together before school started. And it's beautiful. And these are some of a few pictures that we have. I don't want to inundate you with the pictures because you've seen them before. I'm sure you've been in the buildings now. You know that they are just turning out to be outstanding. I mean, just top-notch, beautiful. This is Pleasant View's classroom update. All of the cabinet work, all the new furniture, flooring, woodwork, everything's completed, and it's really, really looking sharp, I gotta tell you. And if you haven't had a chance to get there yet, spend some time, visit the buildings because they're beautiful now. And I'll tell you, we had a lot of challenges with DTE to get our main components together to get the air conditioning running, but we got it started, we got it up and running. So all 4 of those elementaries have air conditioning throughout the whole building. And you walk in the building and you just feel the comfortness even in the hallways and the classes and the teachers. And of course, because it's in a commissioning phase right now, there are some that come down and we have to work on getting them back up and running. But 99.9% of them are running just fine. You can go to the next one, please. This is a rooftop unit. And when I talk about rooftop units, these are RTU units. This is for the gymnasium. They're very large. These are for the elementary gymnasiums. They're very large, and so they have to be put on the roof. And they get extra beef, extra metal to hold the weight up there. And those run the air conditioning just for the gym.
Wow.
So the other ones have the unit ventilators, the horizontal unit ventilators in the classroom, which is a combo air and heat. So this is a before picture of the gymnasium at Pleasant View. And you can see, and here's the new, and that's I'll tell you, that is absolutely beautiful. And that's all been repainted, resanded, relined. And then if you can go to the next phase in that, you can see the new facing on the gym. They're just beautiful. The doors, Partners in Architect did an excellent job designing that to where the doors now fold out instead of up, where they were slamming all the time. They were very dangerous, and now they're working very, very nice, and they did a beautiful job blending in with the gym floor. We're very pleased with that, how that turned out. This is the large rooftop unit for the auditorium at the high school. I don't know if you remember, but I had to replace a compressor on there just to keep it going for 1 year. What we were able to do is I bought that compressor. It was about $20,000, and we needed 2 more additional ones over for the gymnasium. We were absolutely able to take that compressor, move it over to the gymnasium, so we didn't have to discard a brand new compressor. And then we got a brand new RTU unit on the roof for the auditorium, and we used it this opening day for the superintendent's presentation with their staff. It was great. So I just want to let you know that's a heating and cooling unit also. This is the old backwash room. We talked about the pool last time I was with you. We were telling how we were going to fire up the pool. This is where the money went. And when you look at the pool, it's not in everything else. This is where the money goes, and this is what it looked like before the next picture. And this is the new pool backwash room. I know it's a mechanical room. It's not a lot of flares, but for us in the operations department, it's running absolutely beautiful, and it's working fantastic. And I'll give you an example of that. So this is before we fixed the pool and we fixed the back washroom and we did all the work on it. You can see how low the water was and now you can see what it looks like now. It's just blue and it's just beautiful and it's really, really ready to go. And I'll tell you, we have what I consider the leadership of our superintendent for sure is guiding us all through this. But I'll tell you, Paris has just been outstanding following up and getting ready to really use this pool and put it into perspective. We have been waiting for quite a while for an inspection to take place. We're bound by these inspectors. We're on their timelines. They kind of stiffed us a couple of times, but they finally got it passed. And now we're waiting for the certificate of occupancy to start running it, but she can start her programs and get it all in place. It's pretty much a done deal by this point. So I wanted to let you know if there's any questions you have about the bond. I want to just update you next year. We did the past 3 years of the bond was all indoor work, tearing up those buildings, having the staff package and repackage and put all their stuff back. This coming year is all outside work. We're doing playgrounds, we're doing parking lots, we're doing the roofs. That's the process in a proper setting for the bond and how you're supposed to manage that, and we're doing it the proper way. So you'll see activities happening at those sites where the new parking lot's gonna come in and the new rooftops and the playgrounds, which I visited with all the principals, shared it with the superintendent, and they love the concept that's gonna come to their playgrounds. And when you see that, an example of how you look at a finished product is you just go by Forest Park. That playgrounds was updated when we did the parking lot back then. The whole front looks beautiful, the inside looks beautiful, now the gymnasium's all completed there. That's pretty much a completed project. That's what you can expect this coming summer coming up. Those bids are going out to bid in late October. They should be coming to the board in January for approval. And that's gonna finish off pretty much all the bond money that we have. And so I just wanted to share that with you, and I hope that you guys have been very satisfied with the work. And I wanna give credit. It's not me, it's the leadership of the superintendent, the leadership of cabinet, and our bond team. My bond team consists of Barton Mallow, partners and architect, and all of the designers, along with the technology department. And it's not just one person doing this. We meet regularly, like once a week, and we go over everything. And we talk about everything that we need to do. And I'd be happy to answer any of your questions.
I think the other piece that we didn't include is the technology work that went in this summer. We have new cameras, new infrastructure, and Danny has been here before and has updated us, and we have a great partner in Communications by Design that's been helping us with the technology aspects of the bond. And then we also sold our second series of bonds as well, had a great successful sale. The board is aware of all of that. So we'll turn it back to Mr. Weishaupt for any bond project questions the board might have.
You all may have to answer. If I can, I'll get the answer for you.
Board, do you have questions?
I had one. On the high school, I noticed you said you had to replace a condenser, but is that a water-cooled system up there?
The high school system
Is water-cooled?
is steam.
Steam? Okay.
Yes, and we're gonna be replacing those boilers. Those boilers are shot there. That's coming up next.
Okay, I just thought I'd seen water cooled.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Weishaupt.
Thank you,
Y'all did a
and
great
I look
job.
forward- Thank you. I look forward to seeing you guys next year. Thank you
Yes,
very
sir.
much.
Thank you.
Sir.
Thank you so much. Next, we'd like to welcome Valerie Jens. Valerie is the principal of the Early Learning Center. And every year we schedule so that each building gets at least one time to come and talk to the board and the public more about their program. So I'd like to welcome Valerie Jens, principal of the Early Learning Center. And her cheering section, Connie.
Thank you for having me. Good evening, everyone. I'm excited to let you know what we've been doing over at the Early Learning Center.
Okay.
First, I want to start with our purpose statement that we crafted together as a team at the ELC. And I'm going to read it to you because it's important for all of us to know what we're here for. The East Point Early Learning Center cultivates a nurturing environment that fosters a sense of belonging for students and their families. Our community deserves a school they can trust and believe in for their youngest learners, ensuring that every child receives the best possible start in their educational and personal development. We will equip students with the essential knowledge and skills necessary to achieve success throughout their educational journey and beyond. This statement was crafted with the help of my staff. We worked together. We wanted to make sure that it really spoke to what we're there for, and we're there for the kids and for the community, and we just really, really care about our kids. So I wanted to talk about what makes us stand out. So the ELC values collaboration and building strong relationships. We build those relationships with families, with each other, with the children, and we like to collaborate with the families and with each other and with the children. In our classrooms, the environment is warm, it's inclusive. The class sizes are small, there's strong adult-student ratios, and there's a lot of hands-on learning experiences. We prepare students for kindergarten by building their confidence, their compassion, and their curiosity. One big thing that we do is we empower our students so that they are encouraged to explore, to ask questions, to take risks, and to discover what they love. Our teachers and paraprofessionals, couldn't do it without them. They are the heart of this building, and like I said, we just couldn't do it without them. If they weren't there, it just wouldn't work. They are dedicated, they are passionate, and they are committed to these children. They nurture the whole child socially, emotionally, physically, and academically. And on to the teachers. We had a Teacher of the Year this year, Donna Tabachini. I wanted to speak about her because she is an amazing teacher. She's been at the Early Learning Center for 9 years, 8 of them with me. She is very, very knowledgeable in child development, early child development, and is committed to nurturing the potential of every child. Her classroom is a safe and supportive environment where children begin to love learning and grow emotionally as well as academically. Donna's impact stems from both her expertise and her compassionate, intentional approach, including those strong partnerships with families. That is a big, big piece of what we really take pride in at the ELC, is building those strong relationships with our families. So if we go on to the next slide, I just have some pictures of some teaching and learning going on in the classroom. The first picture there, we have Mrs. Tabachini with a group of kids at the carpet. She's just, in this instance, explaining to the kids what they're going to be working on in small group. And then the second picture is them transitioning to that small group, working on identifying shapes, identifying colors, seeing if they can complete a pattern. Lots of different things going on during that small group lesson there. On the next slide, we have another classroom that is during their work time, which is playtime, which they learn a lot during their 1 hour of uninterrupted playtime. Socially, emotionally, they learn to handle disagreements. Teacher, walks them through, how to handle that type of stuff that adults have hard times dealing with. So yeah, they do a lot of things. In the first picture there, they're doing some sensory activities with water and soap, and they're just cleaning the cars, really, is what they're doing there. Building some towers in the second picture, and then in the third picture, we have a little girl dressing up a little dolly in the house area.
Trying to put in some shoes, ain't she?
And I want to move on to some of our goals at the ELC. So our goals are that we have 90% of our students meeting or exceeding the standard expectations in math and literacy. So for those expectations for counting, they have to be able to count 11 or higher in order to meet or exceed that expectation. For letter ID, they have to identify 3 or more, and for letter sounds, they have to identify 3 or more letter sounds as well. We identified some power standards and created consistent assessing across the building so that we can make sure that every child is being assessed the same way. We don't have standardized tests like in the K-12, and our teachers have to give the assessments. So we needed to make sure that they were all being given the correct way and the same way to make sure that we were getting accurate information. And then we also created a scope and sequence of the objectives within the creative curriculum to make sure that the teachers are hitting all of the standards between each of the 3 checkpoints throughout the year. The next page here I have, or next slide, I guess I should say, we have a parent learning session. We had a couple come in and teach some sign language with some of our families. In our ECSE program, we have a lot of students that are nonverbal, and they get frustrated easily. So we thought maybe if we got some professionals to come in to teach our families how to sign at home, and we can implement it in the classroom as well, and it's at both places, then they could be less frustrated. So that was nice. We had a really good turnout for that one. The next slide, we have a book swap that we did in March last year for parent-teacher conferences. So I love that smile, Nolan. Every day, he walks through that door with that big smile. So what they did was the kids came in, did their parent-teacher conferences, and after conferences, they got to go into the large training room and just select a book that they could take home. The next slide, we have our family flower planting day. It's a day in May that we invite all of the families to come and plant flowers with us and their children, and we get a really, really good turnout. I don't have that exact number with me right now, but I'm pretty sure it was close to 90% attendance with the families coming. They really, really enjoy doing it. They plant flowers around the building. In that first little picture there, it's a little pot, one of those little terracotta pots, and they get to plant their own little sunflower seed, and they get to take it home with them, and they can plant it in their own yard, and then they can watch it grow with them. And then they all get to take a shovel home as well, so that they can put that sunflower into the ground once it starts growing. The next slide, we have our end of the year pre-K celebration. This is something we do at the end of the year. The families thoroughly enjoy this. We have stations with different activities that they can go around in the yard. We have a photo booth where they can take a picture by the congratulations sign. It's kind of black there, but it says congratulations graduates. And then we have a petting farm come in, hosted by my sister. She brings in her animals from her farm. Now on to more serious stuff is the data. So this is last year's data from beginning to end year. Just because I wanted to show you the growth that we see with it at the ELC, because it's so early in the year, I don't have that growth just yet. So at the beginning of the year for letter ID last year, 42% of our students were below meeting the standard. By the end of the year, we had 98% of our students meeting or exceeding that expectation for letter ID. For our letter sounds, we had 93% of our students below, and we got to 84% meeting or exceeding. The next slide, we have our counting, which is our math goal. 54% were below, and we got to 94% of our students meeting or exceeding. And then our social emotional, last year, we had chose to work on solving social problems, and like I said, it's hard for adults, let alone for 4-year-olds, but that was our goal for last year, and we started out at 91% below, and we got to 73% meeting or exceeding that expectation. If we turn to the next slide, this is current data for this year. Right now, for below the expectation for letter ID, we have 45%, so not too different from last year coming in. And our letter sounds is 89%, which last year was 93%. So again, not too different from last year. And the next slide, we have our counting. Last year, we had 54% below, and now we have 68% below. That's quite a difference from last year, this year. And then the social emotional, this year I can't really compare to last year because we chose a different goal this year. So our goal this year is responding to emotional cues, being able to understand how someone's feeling just by looking at their body language, or, you know, if they're upset, that type of thing. And 34% of our students right now are below meeting that expectation, and we currently have 66 that are meeting that expectation. So that's actually pretty good coming through the door. And then our last page, I have our upcoming events. We have a family field trip this week. ECSE is going to Wilcott Mill on Wednesday, and GSRP is going to Westview on Thursday, and the families go. They join and they all go. So it's a great big lots of people, lots of people going. Our family Halloween event is on October 30th, so come please and see it. It's so much fun. The families get dressed up with the kids. So it's not just the kids walking through the doors in costumes, lots of creative costumes, and they come and they play games and they get treats, and it's just a really good time with the families. Parent-teacher conferences are coming up in November. That's the 24th and 25th. The reason we don't do them with the rest of the district in October is because it's a little early for us to be able to fill the families in on the progress that their students are making at that time. And we have checkpoints with the curriculum that are November, February, and June. So we kind of line it up with that. ECSC does a Thanksgiving feast in November. Usually it's the week of November, the Thanksgiving break. I don't have an exact date for that yet. We do a family winter activity in December where they come in and create an activity with their children in the classroom. Parent-teacher conferences are coming in March 11th and 12th, and then Family Flower Planting Day is May 21st, and our end-of-year celebration is June 3rd. So if you can make it to any of those dates, please come and enjoy the time with our little kiddos, because I'm telling you, it's a great time. Does anyone have any questions?
The counting is plus 11 plus. Have you
Yes.
ever had any students that come in knowing they're counting to 20 or 30?
We've had some coming in counting over 100.
Right,
So,
so,
yes.
so you put them with everybody's together, or do?
So everyone's in the same class,
Okay.
and within the classroom, the teacher differentiates their lesson. And
Okay.
they put the kids in small groups based on what they can do
Okay.
and what they need to work on.
Okay. My grandson is a student there. He just started in September.
Okay.
And he's a picky eater. So now when he comes, he asks me for oranges. And before he was like, ooh, that's disgusting. But now he eats oranges, okay?
Yes, so we have family style.
Okay.
And everybody is asked to have a try bite. Or a no thank you bite.
Okay.
And the teachers model the eating.
Okay.
And they taste it so that they can see that the teachers are tasting it as well. And it encourages those kids to try things that they may not otherwise try.
Okay. Good job. Good job.
Thank you. Anything else?
This was a great presentation. It's amazing to see the data progress. And I want to say I really love the social emotional learning stuff that you're doing. That's so important to start at an early age. So
Thank you.
keep up the great work.
It is a really big part of the curriculum. And I mean, just in general. Right.
I had a question about the, kind of the social emotional piece, but you said something about the, you're teaching the kids to recognize when they're sad, or, man, how does that actually, what does that look like?
Oh, okay, so, I mean, there's lots of different ways that this could look in the classroom. There could be an actual instance where it's happening during their work time, which is an hour of uninterrupted playtime, where maybe a friend gets sad because another friend took something from them. And so then the teacher goes and, says, hey, like, do you see your friend? Like, do they look sad? Do they look happy? What's their body language? How does their face look? Are there tears? They talk through all that kind of stuff so that the child can start to understand, oh, what I did may have hurt this person's feelings, and maybe I'll give this back to them. And then we give the students an opportunity to apologize, and then we make sure that they understand why they're apologizing. That's a big thing, because a lot of kids are saying, I'm sorry, and then they don't really know why. They just know that they're supposed to say they're sorry because they hurt someone's feelings. So we make sure that when they do say, if they want to say they're sorry, that they say, I'm sorry. There's 8, because there's 4 classrooms with 2 sections in each classroom. So there's 8 sections, and the kids really respond to the visual cards as well as using the sign language with it.
Is everybody good? Good. Mine is more of a statement. We cannot affect how children come in. We can only affect how they go out. And so the improvements that you're doing is showing that we're improving the students when they go out. And so I really think that you should be proud, your staff and your teachers should be proud to show, because I believe small steps make big results too. because you'll get there when you need to get there. So we appreciate that you come and show us the presentation. If there's no more questions, thank you.
Thank you so much, Valerie. And what I particularly loved is that you highlight the relational aspect of the work. And you and your staff do a fantastic job of building relationships. I think Connie Romer, secretary in the front office also, we did not highlight, but Connie probably gives the best hugs and dries more tears than anybody else in the district. So it does take a team, and you guys should be proud of the work that you're doing. That concludes the superintendent's report for this evening. Thank you, Board President.
Okay, thank you so much, Superintendent. Next, we have the first hearing of the public for agenda items only. Is there anybody wish to be heard? Okay, we're gonna open and close it at 7:18. Next, we have discussion action. And we're discussing the recommendations for approval of the Belleville boiler tube replacement.
Bellevue.
Bellevue, what did I say?
Okay. That's to you, John Dean.
He right there.
Thank you, Superintendent Gibson. Happy to answer any questions with the Board of Education. Placed information in the memo that one of our two boilers, each of our elementary schools has two boilers, needs to be retubed. So what does that mean? It means that the boiler itself is fine, but the tubes that the hot water passes through have just kind of built up and corroded in the inside, if that makes some sense. So that was noticed as part of our regular ongoing preventative maintenance program, that over time, that has happened to this boiler. So we've gone out for bid for this project. We estimated it would cost $82,000 to retube the boiler, and that's literally what it is. They pull the old tubes out and put the new tubes in. It's kind of that sort of thing. We get competitive bid. We're recommending the low bidder, which actually comes in with contingency about $10,000 less than we had anticipated the initial estimate to be. So that would be a $72,000 repair. It would happen in the next couple of weeks because the company has the tubes in place. So as soon as approved by the Board of Education, within the next 2 or 3 weeks, we'll work to repair that. It'll take about 4 or 5 working days. And don't worry, because we have 2 boilers here, the boiler's working just fine, so the kids will be warm through the fall. But we do want to get this repaired before it gets really cold in December, if that makes some sense. I'm happy to answer any questions from the Board of Education about it.
Is there any questions?
Yeah, just one. I was surprised with the prices of everything going up that this bid came in so low. So is this just Detroit Boiler is like the main game in town, or like what's the reason behind that such a lower bid than what we anticipated or budgeted for?
Sometimes you can never really know. This is a smaller project relative for these boilers, because this isn't a complete replacement or something like that. So maybe some of these contractors, if you saw the whole bid sheet, they all came in very competitively.
Yeah.
Maybe they were able to squeeze it in, for lack of a better term, between other jobs. We were just happy with that end result. So we're excited to do this piece. Just as an aside, there is additional work that will need to be done long-term at Bellevue on their steam condensation lines, but this is just to repair the retubing in the boiler, okay? We are actually taking the condensation line, which is actually where the steam goes after it leaves the boiler, if that makes some sense, out for bid as part of our possible bond work for this coming summer. So I always like to let the board know, hey, you're not completely fixing everything at Bellevue. We're fixing the thing that needs to be fixed today, and then long-term, there will be some more work that we'll need to look at doing. But this will bring it up to working this winter.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I thought I saw something that had a contingent.
Yes. So what we do with construction projects, we get bids, and then we have a contingency built in. So the bid was actually $66,000 and change. If we had you approve that, and we didn't have a contingency, and then let's say they went in there and found out it needed one more tube. Well, we can't do that without your approval, because you've already approved the maximum amount, that's $66,000. So we add a 10% contingency in there, so you're actually approving the $72,000 in case something comes up. Like, we've all done that to our house before, right? Where the contractor says one thing and it's something more. Don't worry, we keep a close eye on it, but by you approving a contingency, that allows us to make those changes without having to come back to the Board of Education. Of course, if there are no changes, we keep all that money. So don't worry, it's not like
And then the board gets, so that the public knows, the board gets those changes change orders.
Yes.
And so after our team reviews and approves that additional expenditure, the board gets a copy of those change orders when I provide that weekly update or bi-weekly, depending on how busy it is.
And this is not unusual. All of your bond work for construction has a contingency. It's always at the bottom of the bid sheet page.
Yeah.
The percentage changes based on what type of work is being done. In consulting with Carrie, we would thought a 10% contingency in a $66,000 project was the right number.
Yeah, because I was going to ask that, because normally we do a 15% contingency, don't we?
This is one of those projects, there really aren't, it literally is boiler tubes and the labor to do them.
Right.
Like, we're not replacing switches. Like I said, the boiler itself is still fine. It's just
Okay.
the tubes.
Yeah.
We felt like 10% was an appropriate contingency in this case.
And this is through a reputable,
Yes, Detroit
Source.
Boiler Company is
Okay.
very reputable. Our architect was very comfortable with it. They've done work before
Yeah.
inside of East Point Community Schools.
okay.
And it's using the sinking fund to take care of these.
Yes, and this would be a sinking fund repair. This is a great example of the sinking fund maintaining the assets of the district.
Oh, yeah, keeping it up to gentlemen. Yeah. Okay, so can I ask for approval for the a motion for approval, a motion for approval for the Bellevue boiler tube replacement.
A motion to approve.
Support.
Okay, with motion and support, please call the roll.
Mrs. Chopa,
Yes.
Mr. McCain,
Yes.
Dr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Williams, yes, Mr. Roscoe,
Yes.
Mrs. Richardson,
Yes.
and Mrs. Whitby.
Yes.
Okay, with a motion of 7-0, motion carried. Next, we have discussion, Board of Education Student Representative.
So I'd like to thank this Board of Education. One of the commitments that you made is that you wanted to see more students learning about their civic responsibilities. And so our first small step, I'd like to thank Trustee Addie Richardson, Robert Roscoe, Vice President, and Trustee McCain. They were part of an ad hoc committee that came together and did a number of Ian McCain did tireless research on every school district in the state of Michigan and in the country, that had student representatives. He brought Addie and Robert together. The team reviewed a number of possibilities, created a form and an application. A big thank you to Todd Yarch and his team for sharing that application out with the student body. And the board is happy to announce that we have a student representative. Trustee McCain, do you want to do the honors?
Please do.
Sure, thank you,
I'll do your
Superintendent
drum
Gibson.
roll.
So we're very excited to announce for the first time in a long time, the student board rep for the East Point Community Schools Board of Education. The gentleman's name is Edward Downey. He is an 11th grader at East Point High School. And so we're very excited to welcome him to future meetings, to join the board, to learn about all the important work that we do, not just on the dais, but behind the scenes, and hear more about what's actually happening in the high school, what the high schoolers' hopes and dreams are for the district and for the community. So thanks again. I'll echo Superintendent Gibson's remarks to Trustee Richardson and Vice President Roscoe for joining me on the ad hoc committee. And Mr. Downey, we're excited to meet you and welcome you to the East Point Community Schools Board of Education as our first student representative.
And Edward is very excited to tell this board all about what's happening at the high school, which he wrote about in his application, which is why he was absolutely selected. So congratulations, Edward, and thank you so much for all of your work, Trustee McCain, and Addie and Robert.
Oh, good, you're so good.
Thank you so much. We appreciate the fact that y'all was willing to get on that committee to do that application, because that was tiring. There's a lot of work. And so we appreciate all three of you doing that. Next, we have our hearing of the public, which opens at 7:26. Is there anybody who rests to be heard? Okay. Yes, ma'am, please state your name.
Hi, Jennifer Nicholas, East Point resident. Very positive meeting tonight. Lots of great things going on. I really enjoyed this meeting. I thought it was going to be a short one with not much going on, and it turned out that you have a lot going on. The reason why I wanted to speak is, in case you aren't aware, there will be a public forum here at City Hall this Wednesday, October 15th at 7 p.m. to discuss the potential road diet on 9 Mile Road. This is an opportunity for residents, businesses, and I think it's important for the schools, with the high school being on 9 Mile Road and the middle school moving to 9 Mile Road next year. This is important for educators, staff, parents, school bus drivers to come out and give their opinion, comments, feedback on the potential road diet between Tuscany and Kelly on 9 Mile Road. If you are not able to attend the meeting, you can email comments to Kim Homan, our Assistant City Manager, khoman@eastpointcity.org. This is important. This is probably the only opportunity that anybody will have to give input on this stretch of 9 Mile that's being reconstructed. So if you have an opinion, please come out. And if not, please email Kim Homan. Thank you again, and again, I really enjoyed this meeting tonight. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Is there anybody else wish to be heard?
I would like to just comment briefly. It is not a normal comment for us to respond, but there is not a plan for all of the middle school to start next year at East Point High School. It is part of our long-term facilities plan. We have not announced that the middle school, I watched all my staff's eyeballs go. So we have not announced that the middle school is moving to the high school campus for next year. So Jennifer, thank you.
Thank you for catching that, please. Yes, no, that's okay. Yes, please come. Can you state your name for the record? Thank you.
Hello, I'm Aaron Davis, East Point resident and head football coach for high school. My question is around the policy that was mentioned earlier around the virtual, the EVA. I find it hard. I'm having trouble right now trying to find the right way to say this, but with this policy, I didn't see it anywhere, neither in the Board of Education policies, the student code of conduct, or anything like this. And I believe if we have a policy like this, as far as I'm aware, it didn't become public until September 29th. There was no documentation on it. There was no visitation, like no visibility on the website or anything like that. So my question is there any policies that are out there that are not public or posted on our website that we should be enforcing?
And it's Mr. Davis, you know we don't physically answer questions up here.
Okay, well then, my statements are then, what are we doing for the kids that go EVA? I know it's not answering any questions right now. What are we doing for these kids that are EVA that we are restoratively? What restorative plans? I have not seen any restorative plans to get these kids back into the school, back on the right track and things like that. I heard it was framed as an academic program, but then the correlation of the kids that I'm seeing go EVA happens to be behaviorally. And then through my own experience, in terms of this paperwork or policy that went public on Monday, just posted to the website, not included in the code of conduct, the board policies and things like that, there's contradicting policies out there for that policy. So in the virtual handbook, not handbook, the virtual contract that these parents are signing, it states word from word, as long as they are in good standing and passing 4 out of their 6 classes, they are able to participate in extracurricular activities. But then on this other hand, we have a policy that contradicts this, that was not made public until, like I said, September 29th. So my understanding and quizzitation is what other policies may be out there that we should be enforcing as such that is not public to our parents and our community? And how do we further bridge the gap in that communication or transparency?
Okay. Okay, you have 45 seconds.
That's it.
Okay, thank you so much. Is there anybody else wish to be heard? Okay, seeing none, hearing the public closes at 7:31. Next, we have trustee announcements. We starting with Mr. McCain. Yes.
I need to see.
All right. Good evening, everyone, fellow trustees. I want to again welcome Edward Downing to the ECS Board of Education. One person I forgot to thank was Principal Yarch for getting the word out about this. So we're super excited to have high school representation on the board. So thanks for getting students involved. I want to congratulate the graduates tonight and our Salute to Excellence awardees. Super excited to hear about new advanced courses and CTE opportunities, and of course the pool reopening. If you haven't seen it, the superintendent has a new podcast. It's really fun interviewing, I think it's one of our kindergarten teachers, right? So excited to see that virtual update come through. If you weren't aware, the city is currently in the process of rewriting our master plan and creating an economic development strategy. If you're here in person, out in the City Hall atrium, there are boards that we utilized at the open house a couple weeks ago, so you can go and engage that way. There's also an online survey, so please get engaged in this process. And also, we're going to get some engagement from students and staff and families in the schools towards the end of the surveying process. So thanks to Superintendent Gibson for being open to that, and we're excited to see what the students want for the future of their community. And you know, I always end with a quote, and I'm going to try to say it quickly because it's a little bit longer, but with the passing of Jane, Jane Goodall. There's a really good documentary on Netflix about her last words, and I wanted to share the final statement that she shared in that documentary. So if you haven't watched it, go watch it, but here's a little teaser for what you're in for if you do get a chance to go check it out. In the place where I am now, I look back over my life. I look back at the world I've left behind. What message do I want to leave? I want to make sure that you all understand that each and every one of you has a role to play. You may not know it, you may not find it, but your life matters and you are here for a reason. And I just hope that reason will become apparent as you live through your life. I want you to know that whether or not you find that role that you're supposed to play, your life does matter, and that every single day you live, you make a difference in the world, and you get to choose the difference that you make. I want you to understand that we're a part of the natural world, and even today, when the planet is dark, there still is hope. Don't lose hope. If you lose hope, you become apathetic and do nothing. And if you want to save what is still beautiful in the world, if you want to save the planet for the future generations, your grandchildren, their grandchildren, then think about the actions you take each day. Because multiplied a million, a billion times, even small actions will make for great change. I just hope that you understand that this life on planet Earth isn't the end. I believe, and now I know, that there is life beyond death, that consciousness survives. I can't tell you from where I am secrets that are not mine to share. I can't tell you that you will find when you leave planet Earth. But I want you to know that your life on planet Earth will make some difference in the kind of life you find after you die. Above all, I want you to think about the fact that we are part. When we're on planet Earth, we are a part of Mother Nature. We depend on Mother Nature for clean air, for water, for food, for clothing, for everything. And as we destroy one ecosystem after another, as we create worse climate change, worse loss of diversity, we have to do everything in our power to make the world a better place for the children alive today and for those that follow. You have it in your power to make a difference. Don't give up. There's a future for you. Do your best while you're still on this beautiful planet Earth that I look down upon from where I am now. God bless you all. And again, that's from Jane Goodall and her famous last words. Thank you.
Amen.
Amen. I just wanted, again, this is the last time I'll be able to remind everybody that parents, teachers, youth leaders, the VFW scholarship deadline is October 31st. So anything not submitted by that date at your local VFW will not be looked at for the scholarship. Please reach out to your local VFW hall for more information. And I wanted to say congratulations to Mr. Davis and Ms. Blair. Your families have so much to be proud of. Also, the remodels and repairs on the school are beyond impressive. Just so anyone can appreciate the magnitude of the rooftop heating, I once saw one of those fall off of a flatbed. Not only did it,
Ours is it?
not only did it bust up the pavement, but it is larger than a Ford F-450 Super Duty truck. So to be able to move that unit and repurpose it is impressive. I did want to comment about the EV student not being eligible for the athletics program. I went to East Detroit High School. It was then, and it is now, the policy that there are academic and citizenship requirements to be involved in the athletics program. Our EV program is basically students who fall below one of those two criteria. So that is why they are not eligible for the sports team. And it was that way in 1987 when I graduated, so it hasn't changed. And I also have a quote. I watched a movie, the Mr. Rogers movie. What you do to get things done is of very little importance. What really matters is what you do to help other people get things done. Mr. Rogers.
Day in the neighborhood.
It's a wonderful day in the neighborhood.
There we go.
Congratulations to the graduates. That's always powerful when they don't give up.
Right,
And East Point didn't give up.
right.
And I just want to say kudos to them. Love the swimming pool, love the work that was done. Didn't get a chance to ask about the boilers, but I digress. My sinuses are killing. So I'm just going to say good night and see you next meeting. I'm just done.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, Board. Thank you for the wonderful job you and your staff do, Superintendent Gibson. And thank you, public, for viewing our meeting tonight. As the young lady said in the hearing of the public, it was a very positive meeting. And I personally like positivity. Congratulations to the graduates, to all the new hires, and to Mr. Downing. I'm looking forward to hearing the questions you have for, or the suggestions you have for the board as it pertains to the East Point Community High School. And I'm excited about the pool reopening. I swam for a long time when I was in high school. And it was very fun. One of the things that enticed me when I first moved to East Point was we had a community swimming pool at I believe it was Kennedy Park. I think it was Kennedy Park. Yeah, we had a community pool. But yeah, I'm excited about that. And the kids are back in school. We're looking forward to a great rest of the rest of the school year. And it's already approaching the end of the first quarter. So thank you to all the teachers and all that you do to educate our children, and have a blessed evening and good night.
Good night. Welcome, Edward. I can't wait to meet you so you can be a part of the squad. Edward Downey. Congratulations to our two graduates. I'm pretty sure it wasn't easy, but I'm glad you both continued on with it. And now on to bigger and better things. Thank you, Carrie and team. Beautiful work. Very informative presentation. Where you at? Oh, you gone. Very informative information, and I can't wait to get in the pool. Call me biased, but Principal Valerie, yeah, I like that. Amazing presentation, and I love everything that you do with those babies. And I will be, you'll see my face at a couple of those events that you had up there. And to close out,
Words from my Madam Presidente.
Yeah.
We cannot affect how kids come in, but we can only affect how they leave out.
That sounds
was
very
good.
intelligent.
That was very good. Good night.
Thank you, Ms. Whitney. Ms. Richardson.
I'm just full of thanks tonight. I'm thankful for the young people who hung in there, even if their graduation date had passed by. It's the hardest thing to do, and I'm thankful for their parents who hung in there with them and encouraged them to keep on. Thankful for the teachers and the staff that worked with them, because that was so easy for them to give up on those young people.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for the parents who have been getting up and sending their babies to school. And I believe they're on time because it's really crowded in the mornings now. And I'm really thankful for them. I'm thankful for East Point's community for helping our babies be safe. There has not been any reports, and I don't want to say anything, but I'm grateful for that. And I'm even grateful for our board members, because from the time that I started up to now, it has been a great change. And I'm grateful for the time and the effort and the concerns that you have put in to make this, it's a change. And I just want to thank you. Thank the teachers, the staff, everyone who has put in for all that you're doing, because not only do we see it, but we feel it. And thank you so much. Madam President.
Thank
You
you.
had no quote?
Beg your pardon?
I thought you had a quote.
Oh,
Thank you so much. We appreciate all of y'all coming to the meeting tonight. It is wonderful to see faces out there that it helps us to know how you feel. Come and let us know what you're thinking. There's more than one side to every story. And if you can't make it here, look at the meetings, because you'll know what's going on if you look at the meetings. But I appreciate it, and the board appreciates you, all of us. We up here, we appreciate that you come, and we thank you so much. Meeting adjourned at 7:44.